Patrick Joseph Kennedy II is an American politician. He is the former U.S. Representative for Rhode Island's 1st Congressional District, serving from 1995 until 2011. He is a member of the Democratic Party. The district includes all of Bristol County and Newport County, and parts of Providence County. Kennedy did not seek re-election in 2010. He is a member of the Kennedy family and the younger son of the longtime Massachusetts Senator Ted Kennedy. At the time of his father's 2009 death, he was the last remaining member of the Kennedy family to serve in an elective office in Washington. When he retired in 2011, it was the first time since 1947 that there were no members of the Kennedy family in public office. Early life and education: Patrick was born in Brighton, Massachusetts. He is the youngest of 3 children born to Senator Edward Moore Ted Kennedy and musician and former model Virginia Joan Bennett. His sister Cara was a television film producer and his brother Ted Jr. is a lawyer. Patrick was named after his patrilineal great-grandfather, businessman-politician Patrick Joseph P.J. Kennedy. He graduated from Phillips Academy in Andover, Massachusetts in 1986, and graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree from Providence College in Providence, Rhode Island in 1991. Rhode Island House of Representatives: Kennedy became the youngest member of the Kennedy family to hold elected office when, in 1988, he won election to the Rhode Island House of Representatives at age 21. He served 2 terms in the House serving District 9 in Providence, Rhode Island, choosing not to run for a 3rd term. He was succeeded by Anastasia P. Williams. U.S. House of Representatives, Committee Assignments: U.S. House Appropriations Subcommittee on Commerce, Justice, Science, and Related Agencies, U.S. House Appropriations Subcommittee on Labor, Health and Human Services, Education, and Related Agencies, U.S. House Appropriations Subcommittee on Military Construction, Veterans Affairs, and Related Agencies. From 1999 to 2001, he served as the chairman of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, the Democratic Hill Committee for the U.S. House. It works to elect Democrats to the U.S. House and it plays a critical role in recruiting candidates, raising funds and organizing races in districts that are expected to yield politically notable or close elections. After his tenure as chairman of the DCCC, Kennedy became a headliner at Democratic political events and fundraisers around the country. He was a vice chairman of the Native American Caucus in the House of Representatives. From 2001 until his retirement in 2011, Kennedy served on the U.S. House Committee on Appropriations and on its U.S. House Standing Subcommittees. Political positions: he was a chief sponsor of one of the major pieces of legislation of 2008, the Mental Health Parity Act, a bill requiring most group health plans to provide coverage for the treatment of mental illnesses that is comparable to what they provide for physical illnesses. He is a strong proponent of adding a comprehensive prescription drug benefit to the U.S. Medicare and has consistently opposed attempts to privatize the Medicare program. Kennedy has also made numerous speeches advocating the reorientation of the U.S. healthcare system to preventive care. He has received numerous awards for his healthcare advocacy, including being named the recipient of the Lymphoma Research Foundation unregistered trademark S. Paul E. Tsongas Memorial Award as well as the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society Congressional Honors Award. Healthcare: Kennedy is a vocal advocate for healthcare reform. During his career, he joined with Republican U.S. Senator Pete Domenici from New Mexico in introducing legislation that places mental illness under the umbrella of health insurance. Among the awards received on behalf of his work include the Society for Neuroscience Public Service Award, Eli Lilly and Company 2003 Helping Move Lives Forward Reintegration Awards, American Psychoanalytic Association 2003 Presidente unregistered trademark S Award, American Psychiatric Association Alliance Award, and the Depression and Bipolar Support Alliance Paul Wellstone Mental Health Award. In a March 7, 2008, speech to the Cleveland City Club, Kennedy acknowledged having bipolar disorder and being a recovering alcoholic. He and his siblings have legal custody of their mother, who has long struggled with alcoholism. Kennedy is co-founder of One Mind for Research, which seeks to increase resources and efficiency in brain disorder research. Political campaigns. Kennedy campaigned for the seat being vacated by U.S. Representative Ronald McLean in the 1994 Rhode Island 1st Congressional District election. He won the election, defeating Republican candidate Kevin Vigilante. He was one of 4 Democrats in the 1994 congressional elections to win a congressional seat that had just been held by a Republican, while Republicans gained dozens of seats to take over the U.S. House. He has been re-elected in each subsequent election. He considered running against Republican Lincoln Chafee in the 2000 U.S. Senate election in Rhode Island, later won by Chafee. During the 2000 U.S. Senate recruiting phase, U.S. Representative Richard A. Gephardt, then U.S. House Minority Leader, appointed Kennedy to the U.S. House Committee on Appropriations, a high-profile assignment that led Kennedy to pass up the U.S. Senate opportunity for 2000. He again considered running against Chafee in 2006, but did not. Kennedy did not run for another term in 2010. He finished his 8th term at the completion of the 111th United States Congress. 2008 presidential election. On January 28, 2008, Kennedy joined his father in endorsing Barack Obama in the 2008 U.S. presidential election, stating that Obama was the perfect antidote to George Bush. Prior to that, Kennedy had joined his first cousin Timothy Shriver in endorsing U.S. Senator Christopher Dodd from Connecticut. Personal issues and incidents. Drug and alcohol use. Kennedy has acknowledged being treated for cocaine use during his teenage years, and admitted that he abused drugs and alcohol while he was a student at Providence College. He sought treatment for an OxyContin addiction in 2006. Due to his experience with addiction, Patrick J. Kennedy has started to advocate against the legalization of marijuana. Rape accusation against William Kennedy Smith. During Easter weekend in 1991, Kennedy and his father were in Palm Beach, Florida, along with Patrick's cousin, William Kennedy Smith. At a bar, Patrick met a 27-year-old Testa's restaurant waitress, Michelle Casson, and Smith met another woman, Patricia Bowman. Both women returned with the Kennedys to the family's beachfront retreat, where a series of events took place that resulted in Smith being charged with raping Bowman. The prosecution alleged that the 3 Kennedys collaborated to cover up this alleged crime. In a widely covered trial, Smith was acquitted. Capitol Hill intoxicated driving accident. On May 4, 2006, Kennedy crashed his automobile into a barricade on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., at 2:45 a.m. A United States Capitol Police official said the congressman had appeared intoxicated when he crashed his car, but Kennedy claimed that he was merely disoriented from prescription medications Ambien and Phenergan. Anonymous sources are alleged to have seen Kennedy drinking at the nearby Hawk and Dove bar prior to the accident. Kennedy also stated to officers that he was late for a vote. However, the last vote of the night had occurred almost 6 hours earlier. The standard field sobriety test was not administered, and Kennedy was driven home by an officer. On May 5, 2006, Kennedy admitted that he had an addiction to prescription medication and announced he would be readmitting himself to a drug rehabilitation facility at the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota where he has sought treatment for prior addictions. He has stated that he has no recollection of the car crash. On May 8, 2006, Kennedy got a show of support when he was endorsed by the Rhode Island Democratic Party. On June 5, 2006, Kennedy was released from drug rehabilitation. On June 13, 2006, Kennedy made a deal with prosecutors and pleaded guilty to a charge of driving under the influence of prescription drugs. He was sentenced to 1-year probation and a fine of $350. 2 of the 3 charges were dismissed. He was also ordered to attend a rehabilitation program that includes weekly urine tests, twice-weekly meetings with a probation officer, near-daily Alcoholics Anonymous meetings and a weekly meeting of recovering addicts. On Friday, June 12, 2009, Kennedy again announced that he has checked into a medical facility for treatment. In a statement to the press, Kennedy said that his recovery is a lifelong process, and that he will do whatever it takes to preserve his health. I have decided to temporarily step away from my normal routine to ensure that I am being as vigilant as possible in my recovery," Kennedy said. Rhode Island auto accident. In an earlier incident, on April 15, 2006, Kennedy was involved in an automobile accident with off-duty U.S. Coast Guard warrant officer Thomas Guthline in Portsmouth, Rhode Island. Portsmouth police did not issue a citation to either driver. Guthline is quoted in the Daily News as saying, "I never really got that close to him, it was just a regular traffic accident." Political controversies never worked. In 2003, Kennedy was criticized for saying, "I don't need Bush's tax cut. I have never worked a fucking day in my life." His staff explained that Kennedy's comment is a satirical argument against tax cuts for the wealthy, including him, some of whom have inherited their money. Retention of donors' money. In 2007, the Kennedy camp stated that they would retain $6,600 in donations from Democratic fundraiser Norman Shue, who had been convicted that year of a Ponzi scheme fraud. Kennedy is one of the few Democrats not to return or donate these contributions. Communion controversy. In February 2007, Kennedy was asked to refrain from receiving Holy Communion by his bishop, Thomas Tobin. Kennedy later said that the bishop had asked priests not to give him the sacrament, because of the positions that unregistered trademark they taken as a public official, particularly on abortion. Tobin acknowledged that he had requested Kennedy not to receive communion but not that he had asked priests to deny Kennedy the sacrament. Criticism of Senator Scott Brown. Kennedy criticized Republican Senator Scott Brown for demanding to be sworn in as a senator as soon as the election results from the 2010 Massachusetts special Senate election were certified. Brown's whole candidacy was shown to be a joke today when he was sworn in early in order to cast his first vote as an objection to Obama's appointment to the NLRB. Senator Brown responded, "I was elected and the votes are certified and unregistered trademark I'm here to do my job." Unregistered trademark S. Unfortunate that he would use mean-spirited comments like that at a time when we unregistered trademark read just trying to solve the problems of the Commonwealth. The troop withdrawal from Afghanistan. On March 10, 2010, Kennedy went on a tirade over the maneuvering stratagem to the war in Afghanistan during a debate of a measure calling for the end of the war. He yelled so loudly at times about the war in Afghanistan that he went hoarse until he was finally finished with his 3-minute time limit. He anticipated that some would object to his demand to withdraw from Afghanistan by claiming such withdrawal would dishonor those who have already fallen. His comment was, "Some here I can't believe I even heard these someone said I can't go to a funeral, and tell the parents of someone who just died that they lost their child in vain. Somewhere, I heard that during the Vietnam War." After requesting an additional 30 seconds and being granted the time, Kennedy also went after the media for lack of coverage of the war, citing only 2 press members in the gallery at the time and 24/7 media coverage of the resignation of Eric Massa. Private life and family. He resides in Brigantine, New Jersey. Kennedy announced his engagement to 6th-grade history teacher Amy Savell on March 28, 2011. Amy has a daughter, Harper Petitgout, from her previous marriage to Mark Petitgout. They married on July 15, 2011 in Hyannisport, Massachusetts. Patrick and Amy have 2 children, Owen Patrick Kennedy, Nora Cara Kennedy. His father, Massachusetts Senator Ted Kennedy, died on August 25, 2009. Patrick made a tearful eulogy at the funeral, saying that Ted would be very proud to see you all out here today paying a final respect and tribute to his memory. He further elaborated on his experiences with his father as a child, saying his father would stay at his bedside during his frequent bouts of ill health. Patrick Kennedy suffers from bipolar disorder. When Kennedy decided not to run for re-election in 2010, he cited his decision on the fact that his life has taken a new direction. Mark Weiner, a major Democratic fundraiser in Rhode Island and one of Kennedy's top financial backers, said it's tough to get up and go to work every day when your partner is not there. I think he just had a broken heart after his father passed away. See also, Kennedy family tree, references. External links. biography at the Biographical Directory of the United States Congress, profile at Project Vote Smart, financial information at the Federal Election Commission, Patrick J. Kennedy at the Internet Movie Database, profile at SourceWatch, Bishop of Providence, Thomas J. Tobin.